Hey trainers, a PokeDad here to get you jacked and prepped for Gigantamax Machamp Battle Day, May 25th. We're going to go over event details, the top counters, prep tips, and strategy, okay? So let's jump in. Everyone's favorite four-armed martial artist is making his debut finally in Pokemon GO. We've been waiting. We've been watching it on this Might and Mastery screen for a while, and we have been waiting for this one. We're finally getting to it. So on Sunday, May 25th, from 2 to 5 p.m. local time, he's going to be premiering in Pokemon GO. The event bonuses are going to include a max particle limit increase to 1,600. All power spots will host Machamp. They're going to refresh more frequently, about every 30 minutes or so. 8 times max particles from power spots, 2 additional special trades, 2 times max particles from exploring, and a quarter adventuring distance for walking particles. There's also going to be a free timed research starting Monday, May 19th at 6 p.m., running through Sunday the 25th at 5 p.m. This will give you at least an encounter with Dynamax Beldum, some Beldum candy, and some max particles. When we had this research for Snorlax, it gave us an additional 1,400 max particles total, so I recommend trying to save claiming those if you can until the battle day to get an extra battle or two done for free. There's also going to be a $5 paid ticket available that we'll cover at the end. Let's go over the Machamp battle and then get into the top counters. So Machamp is going to be a 6-star max battle boss. It's going to cost you 800 max particles to battle him and can be battled with a maximum of 40 trainers split into teams of 4, which you can see what team you are on in the lobby as you're getting ready for the battle. It'll tell you who your team is. If you hold the screen, it'll also tell you the names of the other trainers that are in your team as well. And then while you're in the battle, if you were unsure or the timer went down too quick, up at the top near the max meter, it should show your team number as well. So, and this is important because especially when you're getting together for a campfire meetup or anything like that, you want to try to get your team of 4 in the following roles, which is going to be 2 people attacking, 1 person healing, and 1 person shielding. So determine ahead of time, based on the Pokemon you're bringing into this battle, what best you can accomplish in your role. So make sure you're talking to your team, and remember that during the regular battle phase, you're going to want to use mostly your fast moves, not your charge moves, so you're filling up that max meter as quickly as possible, and that is best done using fast moves that are a half a second attack time. And the reason for that is you want to get to that max phase as quickly as possible and get to the next one and get to the next one. That's when you deal the most damage, and that's when you can use those max moves. And then remember that a fast attack determines a Dynamax Pokemon's max move during the max phase, while a Gigantamax Pokemon has a set max move, okay? And then also please be aware that Machamp is shiny available and has a hundo CP of 1746. Now let's talk top counters. Machamp is a pure fighting type, so it's only weak to Fairy, Flying, and Psychic. We don't currently have any Fairy counters, but we do have some Flying and Psychics. And we're getting into Dynamax Metagross with Zen Headbutt is going to be your strongest Psychic type attacker. Dynamax Moltres with Wing Attack. Dynamax Unpheasant with Air Slash. It's a nice, great budget counter right there. Dynamax Charizard with Wing Attack, which does require an elite fast TM, but it does make it have max Airstream. So this is a pretty niche one. If you have a high IV Dynamax Charizard, it may be worth it. Just consider it if you don't have any of these other options. Dynamax Corviknight with Air Slash, but also keep in mind that Gigantamax Corviknight will probably come later in the game. It does have a G-Max form, so you may not want to waste your resources on that at this time. But we also have Gigantamax Toxtricity with Spark, Gigantamax Charizard with Fire Spin. I'm also throwing Gigantamax Gengar on here with Shadow Claw. He ranks pretty high, around 3rd place in terms of attacking, but I want a really clear note. Gengar is resistant to fighting type attacks, which is great. The only issue is of the 8 charged moves that Gigantamax Machamp can know, only 4 of them are fighting type. The other 4 will take out your Gengar pretty quick, especially Payback. So please remember, this is a glass cannon and use it at your discretion. All these Pokemon are going to benefit from having their max attack at level 3 to deal the most damage. The best defenders and healers, I'm going to lump these together because they're really the same for this battle. We have Dynamax Zapdos with Thundershock, Gigantamax Venusaur with Vine Whip, Gigantamax Lapras with Water Gun, Dynamax Venusaur with Vine Whip, Gigantamax Blastoise with Water Gun, and Dynamax Blissey with, I'm going to say Zen Headbutt since it's a Psychic type attack. You can also use Pound. Pound will fill that max meter a little bit faster because it's a half-second attack, whereas Zen Headbutt's a 1-second attack. But remember that Blissey is weak to those 4 fighting type attacks. So keep that in mind, especially if you're relying heavily on that HP stat in terms of being your typical battle absorber. He might go down quicker than you think. And these Pokemon have a higher stamina stat, so they're going to be best used with a level 3 max Spirit and a level 3 max Guard as well. Also, please remember that even if your Pokemon faint, cheering that little horn icon, keep on tapping it. It really does boost that max meter a lot quicker than you probably think for your team, and sometimes can come in really clutch, so don't give up. Hang in there. Now, with the top counters leveled up with maxed attacks, I would say you're going to need around 15, 16 trainers. This is going to be doable. If people are bringing level 20 Pokemon with a level 1 max attack, heal, shield, all that good stuff, you're going to need upwards of 25 trainers for this battle. My team personally that I'm going to comprise here is going to be Gigantamax Venusaur, Dynamax Unpheasant, and Dynamax Metagross. I'm doing this as a pretty well-rounded team. Dynamax Unpheasant and Dynamax Metagross can do a high amount of damage. Hopefully, Gigantamax Venusaur can absorb a lot of attacks. Dynamax Metagross could also fill this role a little bit, as he has great defense and resists those rock-type attacks. If you don't have Gigantamax Pokemon, I'd switch the Venusaur for his Dynamax counterpart, or Dynamax Rillaboom also will fill this pretty well. Dynamax Blissey could handle this role as well. However, keep in mind that weakness to the fighting type attacks. And then save your Metagross and your Unpheasant for the max phase to deal the most damage. So you're going to get 1,600 max particles on the 25th, and if you carry over at least 800 from the day before and save your 1,400 max particles from the research, then you can potentially do 4 to 5 max battles for free. That paid ticket will cost you $5, but it will give you 1 max mushroom, 25,000 XP, 2 times XP from max battles, and max particle limit increased to 5,600, which means you can complete 7 Gigantamax Machamp battles. This could be worth your money if you're really after Machamp, but just make sure that you have enough other people willing to do that and willing to buy the ticket, because if you drop below 10 trainers, you're going to have a rougher time. However, if you get that ticket and then all those extra free from the research and everything else, you're going to be able to complete at least 10 battles. Gigantamax Machamp's going to stay a top-tier fighting-type Gigantamax attacker, possibly only pushed down by Urshifu. So it's great to have in your roster. There's a Community Day Classic happening on the 24th, so this would be a great time for you to take advantage of getting all that candy and XL candy. That way you can go ahead and power up those Gigantamax Machamps, get it ready for the next battles, because more of these researches and things will come where you'll need the resources to level up all those max moves. So take advantage of that Community Day as well. And, again, potentially you could need more than 1 Machamp, so it's definitely worth going out there and doing this. Make sure you get out there, check your local campfire for meetups, because you're definitely going to need to do this with your PokeFam and friends. I'll catch you next time.